We'll call to order the Group Insurance Committee at 4:01 p.m. The next item on the agenda is roll call.
Jeff Bozzo,
Present.
Rachel Drake is present. Kaylee Krentz is not present. Robert Munson,
Present.
Gwen Parthos,
Present.
Brenda Costello,
Present.
Mike Dixon,
Present.
Joseph Silvera,
Present.
Eric Diamond is not present.
All right, thank you. We have a quorum today. That's always a good start. We'll move to section 2 of the agenda, starting with item 2.01, presentation and discussion of the Washoe County School District Health Insurance Fund as of February 2025 for presentation and discussion only. And we have with us today our controller, Marty Williams, and I believe this is as of December 31st, 2024.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome, Martin Williams as controller for the record. So our first report here, and I thought we were going to switch these around, but we'll go with the balance sheet first. We've got a healthy cash balance, but our overall net position has taken a significant hit. We're looking at about a $10 million loss so far for the year. We'll get into how that happened when we get to the income statement. Fortunately for the fund, the balance sheet is nice and healthy. We have plenty of assets that far exceed our liabilities. For the income statement, our revenues have increased. We believe this comes from primarily having 3 months extra revenue because we went to 0 days for benefits. Also, there was a premium increase, as you know, and increase in salaries has an effect on this. The bad news is that these increases do not match the increase in expenses. Our medical has gone up by about $6 million total. That is mitigated by the IBNR being reduced from last year, which we believe is a timing issue. We believe it's just a matter of time and it'll get back to where it normally is. Additionally, our prescription drugs are increased, which we believe is also because of the increased usage. Overall, we are looking at about a $10 million year-to-date loss for the fund, which is not sustainable. Do we have any questions?
Robert?
I was just going to ask, you said prescription drugs. Do we still get rebates on prescription drugs, or?
Yes, we do.
And those are quarterly, right?
Rebates are ongoing.
Ongoing.
They're not any particular timing. And our rebates are a little lower than they were last year, but again, we are hoping that that's just a timing issue.
Okay, thank you.
Mike?
Remind me, what's the year-to-date months?
This is up until December, from July 1st to December 31st.
Got it, thank you.
Any other questions for Marty? Not seeing any. Marty, thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. That brings us to item 2.02, presentation and discussion of the Washoe County School District Group Insurance Claims Experience Report as of February 2025 for presentation and discussion only. And we have Nate Kerr with LP with us today.
Good afternoon, everybody. Nate Kerr with LP Insurance for the record, here to go over our monthly report for January 2025 for the Washoe County School District Employee Benefits Plan. Turning to Exhibit 1, enrollment is actually up about 3.5%, averaging 7,471 employees per month for January. Dependent units were also up about 3.5%, averaging 2,308 dependent units for January. And the total dependent count is up a couple percent, averaging 4,510 for the month of January. Line 4, total net paid claims, that is just claims cost after we've taken out rebates and stop-loss reimbursements. For the month of January was $5,209,000, which on average was a pretty significant decrease over the prior monthly average for the prior year. We'll get into that in a few few slides. When we take that total net paid claims, divide it by the enrollment to give ourselves a composite, you can see that for the month of January, the average composite cost per employee per month was $697, which is about a 25% decrease over the prior period. Fixed costs were down quite a bit. Most of that, if not all of that, had to do with, if you all recall, we made a change in our stop loss deductible. We went from a $425,000 specific up to a $6,000. Obviously, that's going to drop our premium and lower our fixed cost. So a lot of that is reflected just in the stop loss there. We add in the fixed cost and the claims cost to get a total all-in. Line 7 for January was $5,530,000, down about 22% over the prior period. Taking enrollment into account, all-in costs for January, employee composite was $740.30, again down about 25% over the prior period. And line 9, as expected, with only the first month, we do not have any claims that have violated the 50% threshold. Apologize, that number should be updated to 300,000, not 212.5. So just the large exhibit does, I believe, have it at 300. But turning to Exhibit 2, the table, I guess maybe the only thing to refer here is just a reminder, and as was just said, finished out 2024. That last half of 2024 was pretty hot. Thankfully, January was a good month, although there were some reasons for that. Turning to Exhibit 3, let's reference those. You'll notice that in January, line 5, we had a stop-loss reimbursement that came in. It was likely one from the prior period. So that's $80,000 that helps. Line 26, we got our first pharmacy rebate that was referenced earlier. Generally, you get about 4 a year. Sometimes due to timing, you might get 5 in 1 year, you might get 3 in the other. But so we got one right out the gate there at $1.7 million. And then, of course, down towards the bottom there where it says under fixed cost, the stop-loss insurance and external stop-loss fee. Again, that's down about 40 points on average because we made that change in the spec. So you put it all together in January is actually quite favorable.
Nate, I have a question on the stop-loss reimbursement. So in November and December, we had significant large claims. How long does it take usually to get the stop-loss reimbursements from those?
Assuming that the claim is paid and filed with the stop-loss carrier and all documentation is in, it's pretty quick. I'd say within a week.
Okay.
The reimbursement. Now, what usually takes a while is sometimes that claim hasn't been released. Maybe Anthem hasn't received it yet, or they haven't received all of the claim information. And maybe the stop-loss carrier is waiting on some additional medical records or information or eligibility verification. Those types of things can cause it to lag out farther.
Okay.
I've seen reimbursements take months, and I've seen reimbursements happen in a matter of weeks.
Okay. Well, hopefully we get those ones fairly soon. Robert?
So the stop loss, we went from 400,000, we went up about $200,000 on that. Did you look at what we would have gotten this year based on the new stop loss and how much difference there would be so that we have some kind of idea about how that might hit the plan this year? I mean, granted, large claims are year to year and there's variations, but there's also some consistency too.
Yeah, so I didn't run that calculation prior to this meeting, but I'm looking at last year's 2024, the complete year. Looks like we had 7 claims that went over the 425,000 threshold, the stop loss threshold. Out of those, none went over 6. In fact, the largest one was just shy of 400,000. Over. Sorry.
So we would have eaten
So
the cost on all of
200,000.
those.
So there would have been 2 claims last year that would have violated the 600 threshold. And when we get to large claims here too, we'll reference that, but obviously increasing the spec, we're likely gonna see a lower volume of claims. Doesn't mean we're gonna see less cost necessarily, but we've essentially traded some fixed costs for some potential claim liability. When we went through that exercise and we had the discussion, the numbers definitely justified it. The plan had been performing very well consistently year over year, and it was decided we were just giving too much money to the stop loss carrier. The fund's healthy, our performance is very consistent, so it made sense to do.
Thanks, Nate. Go ahead and continue.
Turning all the way to the back, large claims. Exhibit 12, you'll see there that the 50% threshold has been updated from 212,500 up to 300,000. That's half of the specific. Obviously in January, we didn't have any violations of that threshold, so that's good. Any questions?
It doesn't look like we have any more questions for you, Nate. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you.
We'll now move on to item 2.03, presentation and discussion of the Washoe County School District Group Insurance Anthem Claims Activity and Turnaround Reports. This item is for presentation and discussion only, and today we have with us Pam Davidson from Anthem.
Hi, Pam with Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield. Starting with the dental. Let me get to that. Okay, on the dental claims in January, we had 2,823 claims with 2,710 of them being processed in the first 14 days at 96%, and the final 113 done on the last 30 days, within 30s, completing the 100%. Moving on to medical. In January, we had 15,667 claims come in. We had 15,387 processed in the first 14 days at 99.2%. The rest at 97.76% within 30 days and 99.91% in 60 days. Out of those 15,667 claims, 14,225 were on the PPO plan and 1,442 on the HSA plan. In the month of January, we had 7,862 RX claims. Out of those, 7,241 were on the PPO plan and 621 were on the HSA plan. Does anyone have any questions on the claim count and turnaround time?
I think we have some new members who haven't, I don't think, seen one of these before. Gwen or Brendan, do you have any questions on this report?
I saw one a long time ago. It looked
Okay.
different when I
Okay.
did this 20 years ago. No, it seems like really
It's
fast
pretty-
turnaround on the
yeah.
claims from what I recall to have that percentage.
Yeah, you guys have a performance guarantees in place, so they make sure the claims are done timely so we don't have a fine at the end of the year.
Yeah, no questions, just I was going to comment on the fast turnaround as well. So.
Thank you.
Thank you. Pam, thank you for your time today.
You're welcome.
Okay, moving on to item 2.04, presentation and discussion of the Washoe County School District Group Insurance Wellness Program Report to cover current events and programs as of February 2025 for presentation and discussion only. Mackenzie, I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you, Jeff. Mackenzie Howard for the record. We have 2 wellness program updates this month. The first is just a quick update on the mindfulness challenge that is live. The challenge is full. We have over 100 people participating and watching the weekly videos, attending the weekly coaching sessions, and then practicing their meditation every day. Emily, when she first went, I'm going to call her out, she used the word powerful, and I am fortunate enough to be able to attend these as well, and I got to go last night, and I think it is really a good description of what this group session is like. It's really fun to see lots of different employees from different sites in our district be together in one space to talk about some of the similarities that they're experiencing and how they're kind of navigating the stress that they're experiencing. So exciting work happening there. We're about halfway through the challenge, so we'll bring you some quantitative data when this challenge is done. And then the next one is exciting. I think we've mentioned this, but I'm not sure that we actually reinforce that it is live. So we, in the fall, worked with PerkSpot, and they're an organization that offers a wide variety of additional benefits. It really serves as a one-stop shop for tons and tons of discounts for anything ranging from a new fridge to a rental car to plane tickets to the coffee shop down the street. So this is another example of how the benefits department is looking to expand to offer additional benefits to employees to expand the offering within our package. One thing that I do want to highlight on PerkSpot is it is free for us. So we get to co-brand with PerkSpot, but there's no cost to us. So it's pretty much a win-win for everyone involved. If you're interested, all you need to do is log in to create an account. That can be found on the WCSD Wellness website, and you just need your WCSD email.
Any questions for Mackenzie?
Just a little feedback. I think I just heard from a couple people that they didn't know that was a legitimate opportunity. So I think for me, I need to make sure I get to my members and let them know. And I was wondering if anyone else gave you similar feedback.
I haven't heard that directly, but I can tell you that I sometimes think it's too good to be true. So I can see where people think that. But I do think that it speaks to a larger initiative and strong need within the benefits department for consistent communication, right? To reinforce for our members that this is real, they can use it, it's not spam. So thank you, Gwen.
All right, thanks, Mackenzie. We'll move on to item 2.05, approval of the minutes of the January 22nd, 2025 Group Insurance Committee meeting, and this is for possible action. Do we have any public comment on this item? No? All right, thank you.
Robert Munson, for the record. I move that we adopt the minutes as presented for the November 20th, 2024 meeting.
This is Gwen, I second.
Wait,
I'm just reading it as it is on the minutes.
well,
So I'm
No, it's-
suggesting we amend the or we do that and then
okay,
approve as amended, sorry.
okay, yes, yes. Okay. So can we get a restated motion with what's on the agenda?
Sure.
Please?
I move that we adopt the minutes from the, was it? January 22nd meeting as presented with the adjusted date at the top.
Thank you, Robert. Do we have a
Rachel
second?
Drake, this is a second.
Perfect. Thank you, Rachel. Any further discussion on this item? No? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed say nay. All right, motion passes. That brings us to our closing items. Item 3.01. Do we have any public comment? No? Okay. Everyone showed up and we don't have any public comment. All right, our next meeting will be April 23rd, 2025, and the meeting is adjourned at 4:20 p.m.